evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and those locked on via the World Wide Web. Because I've got a very special guest with me in studio. Y'all, he is back and he will be in Trinidad and Tobago on June 1st. Faith Assembly will just come alive, go to another level. We've got the man himself, Sherwin Gardner in the house. Woo, 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 woo. I must get some
Good to
sound
be on the
effects
inside.
there. Right. So it's a virtual boat ride we usually have on a Saturday evening, myself and DJ Ground Control. And it's a plum pleasing pleasure to have you with us this evening. Being on the boat ride, persons log on from all in Boston, in the United States, and as well in the UK. It's just a phenomenal experience, and they message us, they connect with us. Hello, these people treat us real good. We even get merch from the persons in
Nice.
Boston showing their love. Auntie Sybil, Carla, Monica, the whole crew. I tell you, it's just an international love, and we enjoy every moment of it. So, showing,
Excellent.
it's your first with Ground. And even me myself will be really pleased to have this one-on-one with you up close and personal, because I have your bio.
Right. All right.
and
Right.
it's so many years that you have been in the vineyard, and it's such a amazing experience for others who have started to realize that you're still standing, and that is what it's all about. God truly has kept you. So let me start off with what inspired you to pursue music as a career.
Firstly, let me say shout out to everybody in Trinidad. It's good to, it's always good when you able to share with people back home. Most people don't know I live in the Bahamas, so I haven't been home for quite some time. So I haven't lived in Trinidad for a very long time. But I've been back and forth, so it's still home. All my family is there. But for me, the journey started way before that. I started at the age of 5 on stage, but so it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's the same as somebody with getting the inspiration or something like that. It's just a calling. I've been called to this. My mother was very sick at the point when she was pregnant with me, and I am what they call a miracle child, because the doctors told her she had to abort the baby because of all the different things that she was going through. So she said that if God give life, is only He can take life, and put me into the hands of the Lord. So from 5 years old, I was the cry baby, but also the one who started singing and sharing the gospel. I remember sharing the stage as a young singer. Um, those days would have been Renaissance. My uncle Kennedy Patterson, Minerva Patterson, all of them would have been the ones that are wrong. And in that journey, I met some met me, and some are gone. And thanks to God, I'm still here.
Awesome. You can share a bit about a testimony with persons who sometimes would get that negativity on they're having a child and the doctor is saying, no, don't go forward. How important is it trusting? Because look at you today. Thank God to your mom being obedient to God and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I think it would be your level of faith and trust. Her situation was really bad. If she would be one, you could probably do an interview with, because she will be able to give you all the terms, all the different things, and everything like that. But yeah, it would have been very bad for her, and yet still she trusted God and had the faith in God that you know and I would always say God had a plan. God sees and He knows things that we wouldn't be able to see. So I'm here because of her faith and her being able to trust God through that situation. Not even having any issues or medical problems. So that in itself is a true blessing. And it just have to say thank you to God for that.
All right, journeying as we came along, you always spoke about, starting off with a cassette and your music. How did you
Right.
carry that forward for other persons to hear about showing?
From a little boy, right? I remember being a little boy. When you start very early, I started at contemporary, so I didn't really start with dancehall or reggae or anything like that. Contemporary, which would have been the Tomorrows, People Need the Lord, hymns like His Eyes on the Sparrow, To God Be the Glory. In my teens, I went to Five Rivers Junior Secondary. It was a very musical school. I don't know if much people knew. We were one of the few junior secs that were winning a lot of the music festivals, because it was me, it was Vanessa Briggs. It had a lot of singers that passed through Five Rivers Junior Secondary at that time. So in school, I remember always saying that I would own my own studio. They used to call me the anthem boy, because every Monday morning, the principal would have had me sing the anthem, because they knew I could sing. But I always had the faith that I would be able to do that. So as I progressed in the early 90s and we started to do gospel reggae, again, I had to shout out my family. I come from a home of pastors and preachers. My grandfather was the bishop of the New Testament churches. My mother is a pastor. My big brother, Sean Russell, he's a pastor as well. So I'm in that family. And when I first started doing reggae as a genre, when I started to write, I was writing reggae gospel, because that's what you hear in the maxi taxis. That's what you hear in school and different things like that. So I was able to.
Oh, we lost him there. All right. So moving along with the genres that he would have began when he started with reggae, and he's gonna come back in a short. It's live interview with the intellect, as we used to call him back in the day, Sherwin Gardner. Yeah, and let me get him back in with us. And I got him in. I don't know what happened there, but I guess he'll try again. So you know how it is. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm back.
Good.
All right, so we got cut off a little while ago. I think I should be back, right?
All right,
Yeah.
you're here. Good.
Yeah, so I was saying, when I started that journey of reggae, at that time it wasn't really something that was accepted in the church. It wasn't accepted at all, period. And my mom is the one who said, if God give you the song, keep singing it. And I remember buying, as I started learning to do my own production, I used to buy one piece of equipment every time I got money. And because I was a barber, so I grew up being a barber from 13 years old straight up to 19 years old.
It's funny that you would say that.
How I used to make money. That's what make money. So a lot of the stuff that we bought, or things that funded what I did as the village barber. Everybody in Brazil village, where I'm from, that small village, I used to cut everybody here.
Amazing.
So it was one piece of equipment, and the first thing that we bought was an 8-track cassette recorder. So I've always been one that never been a follower, always been leading, and never was always everywhere we go. Our brothers, me and my brother, all of us, people know us as church boys, but we were proud of that. When we come to play football, they stop cussing because church boys are around. So that's the extent of how people knew who we were. So yeah, even for music, that's how production started for me. And then I did internship in Spectacular Forum. I don't know if you all remember those days.
Yes, definitely.
Spectacular Studio. I know Spectacular is not there, but Spectacular Forum would have been another place that played a big role in this journey as well, with Dylan and his family, who gave us the opportunity to use their studio. And that's how I learned production, and I learned most of it as well too.
All right. Moving from Spectacular, there was a time when you got this opportunity. And tell us about that, when they wanted you to take Jesus out of your music, but you maintained your stand in Christ.
Yeah, but that's the late half, right? Mm-hmm. So them times, so people who know, I started traveling doing gospel reggae at the age of 13. So the first place I ever went to outside of Trinidad would have been Grenada, then Antigua and Barbuda. In them days was fire. It was hard. It didn't have. It was just my band, Sherwin Gardner and Conversion Crew, we didn't know of anybody else yet because this would have been the early 90s. This is not Melchizedek and the Broadway Boys came on the later end, closer to the 1999 and upward. But we was there long, and faced a lot of backlash. But one of the islands I went to, one of the big labels saw me at that time, which would have been big secular label, because we went to a festival and they loved me and they were like, whoa, we want to sign you, made me a big offer. And then they told me that, all we need is for you to be conscious, but not to have the name Jesus in it. So I wrote a song that says, what would it profit you to gain the whole world and lose your soul? And the song says, keep all your diamond, keep all your pearl, keep all material things in the world, keep all your fortune, keep all your fame, but rather King Jesus, call him a name. And that was because, as a little bit of an aggressive young boy with my stance for Jesus, but in that stance, you still got a lot of backlash from different things because people didn't like the fact that we were so vocal about Jesus. So we had that, and then we had people who think that using dancehall or reggae music is not of God. So we had to come up against that as well too, until people started to see the fruits. And that's the key thing. For me, I've always wanted to have clarity, that people understand the words. And one of the things that help is us being able to incorporate drama. So sometimes I'd write songs in ways that, like, there's a big song that everybody looking forward to called Serious Time.
Yeah.
Serious Time is actually a drama.
Yeah.
Is the story of Kent and his life and what he'd been through, and people could have followed it through the drama, and that helped a whole lot in terms of people now seeing that we really had a message and it wasn't just about the beat or the music.
Wow, amazing that you mentioned the drama in connecting with the persons. What would you say to the music you hear now and the young people and what you see happening, seeing that you would have gone through, I would say, 2 generations or so?
It's more than 2 generations.
Yeah, just trying to be
45.
poised.
No, I'm good.
All right,
Listen,
okay.
I'm proud of the fact that I'm 45. I am never been one who afraid to mention my age or anything like that, because there is no timing under the sun, and we could see it now with the blessings that God is bestowed upon my life.
Yeah.
So I've been through different seasons. I've seen different music. I've seen people come up. I've seen people fall off. I've seen people stay there. But one of the things that I would say is the guys now have a beautiful opportunity because music is now more accepted globally than anything else. You have different genres that are being accepted. That when we first started, a lot of people would tell me I paved the way. Yes, I was one of them who paved the way. I'm not the only one, because there were some guys in Jamaica who did it as well. There, Monty G in the Bahamas. So I met others who was doing the same thing I was doing back then. But I think one of the things I love, when I saw Mark Isaac in Tobago one time, I was telling him about it. We come from the era where we had to make mistakes, and we did production that wasn't top class because we were all learning. It was a bunch of young people learning with the ninjas, Shizzle on, Tico on guitar, rest in peace to Guitar Gun, and all these guys, we were now learning. And then I met Jamie Thomas in 1997. He came to my school in St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive. So when Jamie came, we were already doing dancehall and reggae, right? Jamie then had something called Vibe,
Yeah.
which took what we were doing to another level. Tobago Vibe would have been one of those that really catapult everything, because he recorded it and he started to play it on the radio back in those days. And Jamie played a pivotal role in getting it out there. So even though we were known in churches, we were known because of the fact that we would do New Testament conference. So all the New Testament churches come together.
Yeah.
So they know us from that.
Right,
Then we go to Open Bible, and all the Open Bible churches come together. But we wasn't known nationally until Jamie came in the play, and then Jamie started doing. So I was known as Sherwin Gardner because I was always the little boy who singing. I sang on 12 and Under, Scouting for Talent. I was on everything. So people knew me from that, but they didn't know the reggae or the dancehall side. And now Mark, Isaac, the Blesseds, everybody, they came in an era where they have high quality productions. They have good producers. They have everything. So that is one of the things that I say to them, make use of the tools you all have, because we didn't have that. We had to work hard. Sometimes something worked, sometimes something don't work. The first song that I produced that was on radio was from Shizzle. At that time, his group was called Hagion. And it was on same. It wasn't 98.1. I think it was 94.1 in that
Yeah,
time,
back in the
right?
days, yeah, Love 94.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Love 94.
Yeah.
Rochelle was there at that time too.
Right.
And I remember the first time it played on radio, because it was a cassette and it keep going over. We had to record over and over each time. So you record 8 tracks, you bounce it, then you record another 8 and you bounce it. By the time you reach 20 tracks, the cassette going shh. So you hear in the beat, but in the background is just white noise. We can't get rid of that. But that's where we came from. And that was a big song for him at that time, So that is some of the difference in what I would say the new guys have, the Joshua Ali's, all of that. Joshua, these guys are phenomenal, and you have phenomenal writers right now. The Jarons, the Blessed Messenger, phenomenal writers, but they don't just have writing. Now they have different producers that they could choose from. Yes. We didn't really have that in them days. You know what I mean? They have loads of producers. They have different guys they can go to. Access is what they have. And I'm really proud, though, of what I hear from Trinidad. You know what I mean? Because the quality, and for me, it's not just about quality, it's about message. And what I love right now that I'm hearing is really good content coming from Trinidad. So I believe that with that, the things that people seeing from me is not to try to replicate it, but to really make sure that your relationship with God is so connected that He gives you that next blessing finally.
Powerful.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is the key thing. A lot of times people would say, "Oh, he did this, well, let me do that." No, that's not how it works. It don't work. There's no formula to what God is doing for me right now. The formula is the relationship that you have with Him, hearing from Him in terms of what you write. Because then everybody starts to follow a trend. Now, Afrobeat is popular in the world, so let's all try Afrobeat. Did God tell you that you should do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because God might really say to you, this worship song is what I want you to do, and that is the one that hit people. But, everybody want to follow the formula. So, but I love the content I'm hearing from home, and I'm really proud of what I'm seeing, and I know that it is just a matter of time for many of them.
Wow, that's amazing. And the words of encouragement, I know, will definitely go deep with them. Is there any particular experiences or challenges that would have shaped your journey as a musician?
It's many, I don't think we have enough time for that, but there is many. I've been through a lot in my life, and in everything that I do, one of the things is to depend on Him, and that is the key thing I would tell a lot of people, because a lot of times we get discouraged. Now, honestly, you can, as a Christian musician or Christian artist, you can get discouraged because people always have opinions and people always have thoughts on what you do. You know what I mean? And then sometimes people tend to forget that, it's not. I can't go to American Airlines and tell them, "Hey, my name is Sherwin Gardner. I am spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. Take me to Trinidad and Tobago." No, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Everything costs. And that is where sometimes it gets very discouraging, because you have to work very hard, and people don't pay respect to the sacrifices that you make. I had to sit down with somebody recently and explain to them the process of recording, right? Let just give you ballpark figures. This is not necessarily the figures, right? But I'm giving you an example. To produce the music for a young artist who just came out and have a song, and they go to a producer, and the producer tell them, "All right, this is $1,000 US for me to arrange this, mix and master this for you." $1,000 US in Trinidad and Tobago is a little over 6,000 something TT dollars.
Close to
And then
7.
after they do that, right, they still have to do the graphics and they still have to take pictures and they still have to do the packaging aspect of it. So we up to $10,000 already. Where's this young person going to get his $10,000? Now, the other thing is that same young person is going to try to do it on their own, and then they keep doing it, and it's not coming out on the quality of the Blesseds or the Sean Daniels or myself, and then they get discouraged because nobody wants to play it, and then they can't even afford to do it again. That is what a lot of people don't understand. So sometimes they're what God has blessed me with. A lot of people when I was younger, I remember the Peter Regis, the Angela Williams, and all these people. These people sowed seeds into the younger ones. I am who I am because I had people like them who would say, little boy, because I was the little boy with the big mic. Little boy, God is gonna take you places. But not only did they say, little boy, God is gonna take you places, that sometimes people give me a little $100, $200. I just was one who used to put it towards music because I was so into it. You understand what I'm saying?
Passionate
There were people who invested in me without even saying that they were invested. You know what I mean? And you know, sometimes people think that you just come. I remember leaving Brazil Village. At that time, it was about $25 to go from Brazil Village to Port of Spain. And all I had was $25. I reached the Brazil Village and I had an aunt who worked in First Citizen Bank. She was the manager. And every time I had to travel, I go to the bank and I say, Auntie Marilyn, I need my passage to go home. It had a day. This is how crazy this was, right? It had a day. My aunt was sick and I didn't know. I had no money to go home and I went to the bank. The staff in the bank say, you need money to go home? And they gave me money to go. And I was just grinding, learning production to be able to do or to reach where I was at that time, you know what I mean? To now to the point where God is beginning to bless and beginning to shower his blessings on me. But that is the sacrifices that we had to make, that people sometimes say, oh, he don't know the sacrifices we make. You don't know the sacrifices I had to make.
It's true.
You understand what I'm saying? So trust me, it was a major journey. But again, I would say to all the guys, the key thing is relationship first. That would be the main thing. Hearing from God is more important than trying to replicate or do something that you feel a crowd would respond to.
Yeah. How do you maintain, after having so many accolades and awards, how do you maintain the humility and the authenticity amidst your success?
Yeah, because the first understanding is that the goal is not what we do, the goal is to make it to heaven.
Right.
That's the main goal. A lot of people miss that. I have a talent, I have a gift. I could sing, I could produce, I could do graphics, I can do a lot of stuff. So some of the graphics, all the things that a lot of people been seeing, I did myself. So with that, as much as I have that, I have it because God gave it.
Amen. True.
And if I was to lose my voice tomorrow, God forbid, something goes bad and I can't sing, I'm still going to serve Christ because my goal is to make it to heaven. That's where the humility comes from. And the fact is, this is something that was given to us by him. I'm using it for him. But the moment it's gone, that don't mean I'm going in the world because I can't sing again. That don't mean I'm going to show off on somebody because I have a popular song or my song have 1 billion views. That don't mean I could have 1 billion views and still go to hell, boy. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the goal is to make it to heaven. And once you understand that, you will understand that everybody, you have to treat people like people. Be happy for people. Praise them when they do good. Support them if they do bad and lift them up. You know what I mean? Because people did that for me. So for me, I'm always, somebody told me recently, I love the Caribbean too much because I needed to be a little bit more selfish and do what I'm doing. But I live in the Bahamas because it's close to the United States, and a lot of what I have to do now is in the United States. But I just didn't want to live in the United States because I always wanted to have the testimony that I could do everything that is necessary and everything that God is blessing me with, every door that is opening from the Caribbean. Because there's a young boy who's hearing my voice right now saying, "He boy, I feel I ought to go to the US because I need this." So no, you don't. All you need to do is trust God, have faith. We have phenomenal guys in the Caribbean, producers, people who could help you through that journey. Fisherman is on a different level.
Yes.
If I need something,
Daniel.
I call fisherman. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, for me personally, there's a personal thing. Anytime I have the opportunity to make a choice between somebody abroad, somebody in the Caribbean, I'm always going to go Caribbean first because I have faith in the guys and the people. God, I was birthed and I was born there for a particular reason. So a lot of remixes, a lot of things that happen in a lot of these songs that people are hearing coming out now from me is Fisherman and me, Positive and me, people from the islands. I turned down many things I heard from other producers that was sent to me, and I was like, yo, no, but I do, I had a conversation with Judah Peters, who is a young producer as well, and I love his stuff. I said, bro, if you have anything else, send it to me. So now he started sending me stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is legit good stuff. So sometimes we don't have faith in the people around us, and we always want to look to this one and look to that one. Have faith in them and make sure you know what you want for yourself and where you want to go. And that was just my testimony, and that is part of my testimony of wanting to make sure that I'm able to motivate others to say, hey, we could do this.
Wow, well, I just blown out of the window right there. Ground just clapping in the background. And as we bring it back now to the concert on June 1st in Trinidad and Tobago, you all could fly in, that's okay, right? What can some persons expect? And people are excited. Give us the cost of the tickets. We know it's Faith Assembly, and everybody's saying, but Faith Assembly too small, showing.
Now, we're looking for, if there's a particular ambience, it's going to be a real big night that we're going for, and that's one of the reasons why I chose Faith Assembly. So that's if you get a ticket, get it quickly.
Yes.
Because I just got a message that the tickets are going fast.
Yes.
So people need to go run get the tickets. Yeah, but there's an ambience that we're looking for, and also a lot of people don't know there's a couple places in my journey that were big in that part of the journey.
Right.
Faith Assembly is one of them.
Nice.
GMPR Complex is one of them.
Yes.
Spectacular Forum where it's not there again, and Himalaya Club.
Yes.
Those are the places that there were big moments in my life that things happened. And I always pay tribute to the Bechu family.
Yes.
Because the first visa I ever got to the United States was because of that.
Wow.
When he took his pan side to the US in 1997, he asked me to come along, and they took care of everything, and that was the first experience I had going to a tour in the United States along with Javid and the whole team. Wow. Right? So there's sentimental reasons between some of the things that and the reasons behind why we there. So yes, it's small. And we're going to eventually do something else in the GMPR complex. I have to.
Yes.
But it's going to be super bigger.
Wow.
That it won't be able to hold. But in this case, Faith Assembly is going to be is a night that people are not going to forget. We're going old school up to the Blessing Find Me, which is new school.
Yes.
And then we also recording 2 new songs on the night that is crazy. So yeah, and I also have I had a promo running called 12 and Under, where I put out for for parents who have kids 12 and under to send in videos. So from this week, they will be voting for the kid who will get featured on the night with me singing Blessings Find Me, and they're also going to win $1,000 US sponsored by Bamboo Shack. here in the Bahamas.
Oh my goodness, Sherwin, I know with hearing your testimony, so many more people just want to come. You know what we love? That foundation that mom would have deposited, that gratefulness to people who would have impacted your life. Clearly, you are not forgetting those that would have impacted your life in the journey, and that is super amazing. Again, in my final question and in closing, I know Grant have a question as well about the war rhythm. You know what birthed the war rhythm? Rhythm.
Right. So those days, that this ground question,
Yeah.
those days, Flow Masters was a big movement. I don't know if anybody remember, because that's one of the
Yes.
things I want to do. I want to do another show that would showcase the Flow Masters movement. So we had the early Flow Masters, and then we had the late half of Flow Masters, and Flow Masters still around because that's still the record label I use. So in those days, we were just hungry young people. Mr. Mention, we met JD in 2000. After he got saved, he come into the Flow Masters. But before JD Reach or anybody like that, it was Mr. Mention, Shizzle on. Then we got Ninja. And those days, if Ground Control remember, dancehall was all about rhythm. It wasn't necessarily about one songs and here. So we were doing plenty rhythms, air freshener, this one, that one. Mention and I one day was doing this thing by Tikis and Arima and Blessment, and all of them was all there. And then we just used to be freestyling, and somebody came up with a, if it's a what you want, what you gonna get when you check it out. And then we just recorded that one song, and then we made it a whole rhythm. Because those days
Way.
it was about rhythm. So we couldn't just do the one song and then we just keep putting people on. And as people come, there's a song that will forever be one of the biggest songs. And everybody thinks Chevelle Franklin had sing it, which is Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda from Vanessa Briggs. Huge, huge, huge song that I just was in the UK passing a shop, and I heard shoulda, coulda, woulda was going to die. And I was like, wow, this is how music just flows and finds just different ends of the earth. So it was just us, and it was those days, that's like a whole book or a documentary, because those days we were learning how to run a record label. We were trying this and trying that. Some things worked, something didn't work, but at the end of the day, that paved the way for plenty of what is happening now.
For real. Ground said that's where he met you. He from Arima, so you know.
Right.
It was just phenomenal. So I know time is on us, and then other people will be hearing from you and embracing the opportunity. So in closing, I'd like to find out, what was it? What was it really, a little snippet on Blessings Find Me here, that download that, when you were doing it, did you have any thought process that, I mean, I know you know that, hey, it's going to go big, you're going to have that faith, but did you have any thought that it would?
I didn't even have that. Honestly. So Blessing Find Me is totally God ordained. There's another song that we coming out with soon. That was actually the song that we were going to release on January 1st. And I remember sending it to Positive in November, because it was basically almost finished. And it's with a lot of international. So I'm signed to Ty Scott Records.
Right.
So we have a lot of major persons on this song. Let me tell you how God work, and I have to go because I have to go into a rehearsal
No problem.
quickly. But the song was finished. I sent it to Positive. Say, boy, January 1st, you had to drop this. This huge. All of us excited. I excited. But we needed to get clearance because it's a remake of another song. We went to the company to get clearance. They loved it, but they said, listen, you all need to come back after the holidays. So I was a little disappointed, but 2023 was the year where I was saying to God, something had to happen. The label was asking for more music, new music, and that's how the idea of that song came up. And then from October, I started to speak life. I'm the worship leader at Bahamas Harvest Church. So at the end of every worship set, after I pray, I left the stage by saying something good is going to happen for you. That's what that was. But that was me speaking life into my situation, because I'm praying that 2024 something different happened for me, right? Knowing all the things I've been through, I was declaring that. So when the song now, they told us we had to come back, I just keep walking around the house before I go to work, and I keep saying something good is gonna happen, something good is gonna happen, till it became a melody. Something good is gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. I then decided to record it, so I sent it to our producer in Africa because I wanted that authentic sound of it. And it was only 46 seconds, so it was not a song. This is what a lot of people fail to get. So that's why I say it wasn't something whereby it was me saying I'm going to go viral or me anything. This was just a prayer that I wanted to put on social media to hold me over until we get the clearance for the other song. So I still had the other song in sight. I didn't have this in sight. This was just a prayer that was really just, Lord, I'm still saying, going into this year, this is my prayer. Something good is going to happen. At 11 o'clock, Bahamas time, I posted it. And that was my Happy New Year. If people read the Happy New Year note I had, they would understand that what it was. And then fast forward to now, it just crossed 1 billion and 7 million and still counting. So it's past 1 billion and it's still counting, still growing. And that's just the faithfulness of God. You know, everything that was in that prayer, he's answered and answered in
Above
more
all,
ways
we could
than
ask
more.
or think. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you because I know that you have other interviews coming up, so they're just going to pull from you and glean from you. So much for taking the time out in the boat ride. It's boat ride with a difference. Make sure I got my C behind me. So that look forward to hearing from you next week again. Trinidad and Tobago, it's July 1st. All roads lead to Faith Assembly. Sherwin Gardner
And get your ticket quickly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get your
it's
tickets.
at Truaholics and at Faith Assembly and also at TovaTickets.com. It's going to be crazy, as you know. I think we have a limit on how much we could seat. We actually move in the chair, so we may have a lot more space. But I would tell people still try to get a ticket.
Yes.
Before the fire services shut us down.
Oh Lord, no, they won't. All right, well, let me leave you like
Yeah,
you go
man.
to your rehearsals. Thank you again. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure to having you with us, and look forward to hearing more of you and being at the concert, of course, up front. Yeah.
Thank you. Blessings to you.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Man offer me diamonds, gold, pearls, fancy car. And tell me when me sing me song, now mention the name Jesus. But I say, Jesus conquers all. And this is all we have to say to them. So no matter what them try, so no matter what them offer me,
Well, you just heard it, up close and personal interview with Sherwin Gardner live, and we look forward to June 1st at Faith Assembly, live in concert, all the different genres, all the different collabs. You don't want to miss it. You gotta be there in Trinidad and Tobago. Madonna J is my name, signing out, and DJ Ground Control in the background. Blessings gonna find you right here in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm from Isaac 98.1 FM, The Promise, #1 family station in the nation.